All of directors, please.
Barnes.
Here.
Bauman.
Here.
Gorman.
Here.
Hanson. Hermaning.
Here.
Kaiser.
Here.
Maple.
Here.
Stankowski.
Here.
Zebro.
Yes.
Anna. Here. All present, but Hanson.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approval of the agenda, please.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
We have a motion by Gorman, second by Zebro to approve the agenda. Any corrections or updates? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting December 21st, 2021.
Also move.
I'll second.
Motion by Kaiser, second by Gorman to approve the minutes from December 21st, 2021. Any corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is the public forum. Public forum provides the public with the opportunity to ask questions about or address issues included on the school board meeting agenda. Is there anybody who wishes to address the board tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 7.
Alright, awesome. So this month, students finished up their first semester courses and we took finals. But our group involvements, our FCCLA group, provided a family with Christmas gifts, and they also rang bells for the Salvation Army. Another one of our groups, the Decker group, competed in a business marketing competition at Mid-State Tech, with 11 out of 14 participants advancing to state. Our library club received donations from local businesses, including the Mosinee Area Chamber of Commerce and more for more books and other library-related things. But we look forward to the second semester and more club involvement.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Item number 8 is the consent agendas. Is there a motion?
I would so move.
I'll second.
Motion by Maple, second by Gorman. Any issues to pull out? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and possible decision, approval of the monthly voucher list.
I would so move for the,
Monthly voucher list.
Yep. I'll second it.
Motion by Kaiser, second by Zebro. Roll call, please.
Kaiser.
yes.
Maple.
Yes.
Stankowski.
Stankowski.
Zebro.
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes.
Bauman.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Hermaning.
Yes.
All yes.
Thank you. Item 10, discussion and possible decision, acceptance of the monthly treasurer's report.
I would so move.
I'll second it.
Good night. Motion by Kaiser, second by Zebro. Roll call, please.
Zebro.
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes.
Bauman.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Hermaning.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Maple.
Yes.
Stankowski.
Yes.
All yes.
Thank you. Item 11, discussions, school board superintendent communications.
I have a couple items in there. The CDC changed guidance for COVID-19, lowering quarantine to 5 days. Everything's listed there, including the letter that I've sent out, which is also in the regular meeting. All schools were advised of this. There have since been some additional changes, but long and short of it, one of my communications that went out is that due to the quarantine being reduced to the equivalent of whooping cough, we don't foresee any more issues with spikes that we can't handle. It's still a challenge. We're still as challenged as any other school district with subs and time off due to this, but we are managing at this time.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes, sir.
Do you anticipate at some point getting rid of the COVID dashboard?
I believe I've had long discussions with the health department officer about the move from pandemic to endemic status. I think when that occurs, which I believe is in our near future, that would happen then. I would think.
I was just curious if you...
But she and I, the health officer and I, did not have a specific discussion about the dashboard and
Sure.
endemic status. I'm just projecting a little bit.
I understand. And your nurses obviously would be involved.
Absolutely.
Sure.
The Christmas and New Year's season, it's a wonderful time in the school year. A lot of things, great things going on. Number 2, there will be quite a bit of writing in the next link article in education. We call that an anticipatory set. I've done some writing for the link, pre-writing for the link before it comes out. But there'll be a lot about giving and a lot about some of the wonderful things that our staff, students, and community do for families and students in need in our community. Today was a great start to the new semester. We have professional development today with staff. So been around to a few of the sessions. They're doing a great job out there with professional development. It's a good transition between the first half and the second half of the school year. So tomorrow starts second semester, 2021-22 school year. Mr. Jamrose, the architect tasked with developing the middle school project to a biddable project. He met before spring break with several staff members and administrators. We're moving forward with that, and he'll be back again in February for another such meeting in more detail, just following the exploratory meeting. We will have staff involved as much as we're able to make sure that we're getting input. Obviously, these things will come back to the board as already directed. The Mosinee administrative team, we started working on the staffing plan. It's only preliminary at this point. But these are things that we're starting to look at. But generally speaking, as a broad overview, things look very good in terms of staffing for the Mosinee School District. More detail to come.
Thank you. Item 12, old business. 12A, discussion possible decision, approval of the final 2022-2023 school calendar.
I made a minor adjustment on version 2. I am recommending approval of version 2 of the school calendar. And the revision from last meeting to this meeting had to do with January 1st, or 2nd, January 2nd. So January 2nd, if you move the days from this year to next year, that would be a possible day off. But given looking at a lot of other scenarios and our need to be at a set day amount and hour amount, the January 2nd would be a day of school. Now, just to remind the board from the last meeting where we discussed this particular calendar, which I do recommend, this would have the entire week of Thanksgiving off. We had that occur this year for other reasons, but this is popular with parents, staff, and students that I have spoken to. And it is doable in the confines of the minimum hours of instruction.
Okay, one question I had is when I compared the two calendars, I could only see that 1 day difference, but yet there's supposed to be 2.
Yeah, there are 2. The 1 day difference actually was a miss. Correct.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah, those are 2
Yep.
days.
Okay, I'm good.
I'll make a motion for option 2.
I'll second it.
Motion by Maple, second by Kaiser. Mr. Barnes?
Can you just refresh my recollection of how many snow days that allows for?
Yes, it is built in. That's an option 1. There's 7.5 built-in inclement weather days for the elementary school and approximately 3.5 built in for the middle school and the high school. Strange how it works in state law that Mr. Gruby's building has 2 different sets of rules depending on the age of the kids because it's 7, 12, and through 6th grade. So that's an interesting dynamic, but it has to do with hours of instruction. A decade and 2 decades ago, it used to be 175 or 180, used to be in state statute. Now it has to do hours of instruction, which I've linked into one of the documents that's in there in previous discussion.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12B, discussion and possible decision, review of safe return to in-person and continuity of services plan.
This is a standing agenda item that was asked to come back. The communication that I sent out on January 4th is also posted on the website. If you click the website and then go to the dashboard, it's right below the dashboard that's listed up there. This particular letter talked about the change in days. There was some feedback about this letter, mostly positive, but essentially what this does, the reason there was a delay with this letter is because the state of Wisconsin, for a time, wasn't agreeing with the CDC. There was actually notification to all schools in the state that we weren't supposed to follow CDC guidance. So that had a lot of schools, including me, waiting for, okay, why is that? But the state took a day or so and is now following CDC guidance. I don't know why. But regardless of that, this letter was co-written by not just myself, but the Marathon County Health Department officer, and of course our nurses. I don't have any recommendations for changes to our current approach to COVID. I think it's an evolving situation, to say the least.
So we're not looking for actual action unless somebody objected to what you put out, it seems to me. Okay. Item number 12C, discussion, strategic plan update.
Yep, in this line item, this is following last month where I had 2 other aspects. There's 5 pillars in the strategic plan. Continuing with 2 more pillars, Mr. Way knows that in February we'll be having the instruction pillar brought forward as the final piece of a mid-year review. But the wellness strategic plan update, you'll note that jump into some aspects at the start that jumps into wellness specifically, but then the rest of the information gets into a lot of detailed work with our mental health navigator. She happens to be present, but it's a very detailed report in terms of all of the things that are being done, referral pathways, mental health pathways, school-based mental health provider lists. There's been a lot of structure established with not only mental health but also PBIS in what we've started to do under this particular strategic plan pillar. So I'm excited about the approach along with our pupil services team. I have had to postpone that pupil services meeting, which I chair and run myself, due to the state education convention, but it's only 1 week, but there is work going on in the interim. Some of the big pieces, just to dial down into some of the big changes here, flow, workflow, if a student comes and needs an outside mental health provider, they're asking for this sort of help, this sort of thing, we're trying to be very systematic and directed about making sure that they're receiving those services as quickly as they're asking for them, but also that we're wrapping around with the services that we provide in the buildings. So that is what this very detailed piece is getting into with respect to the mental health pillar. I think we've had a really good start with respect to knocking this aspect of the pillar out of the park. But we, of course, have a little ways to go with those systems, like PBIS, and where we are with Tier 1 and Tier 2. Now that's kind of education speak, and I'm sorry to go there, but behaviors. If we're talking about behaviors and how each of the buildings is handling, behavior interventions and that sort of thing, okay? So questions about this particular pillar?
You mentioned that you're not doing it right now, correct?
Not doing.
Your meetings.
Oh, yes, we are,
you are,
actively.
okay.
The wellness,
Right.
yes.
The wellness one is.
Yes, the wellness,
Okay.
there's a district level wellness meeting,
Okay.
there's building level wellness meetings. The district level mental health meetings are also going to be incorporating community members as well. We're already incorporating outside providers, and every building is involved.
All right.
But each building also has their own mental health committee by building, along with PBIS the same way. So the behaviors, we have a district PBIS meeting, and then each building has their own breakout as well.
Good.
More to come on that. Excited about the start and the progress to this point.
I do have a question in regards to, since you're talking about there's one for student and staff and then one for community. So in terms of, like you're saying, the wraparound services and trying to make sure, I'm assuming that we're addressing the whole person concept. Are families being included in this, like under community? So making sure that we're trying to address all issues of the child is best to our ability.
Yeah, one of the things I communicated, it's a good question. One of the things I communicated with staff on today is the Satchel Pulse Culture Climate approach, not just with staff, but also we're going to be rolling that out with students and then bringing that back to the staff and with parents.
Yes.
So that'll be rolled out to parents as well. So yes, absolutely. We'll enhance it a piece because we're also going to continue with what we initiated last year with outreach to our business community in the same way. They gave us some wonderful feedback in the first year, and we're looking to connect that.
Thank you.
The next pillar, the workforce retention and development. The first part of each of these documents is pulled directly from our strategic planning work. And then below it is sort of the breakout. This particular write-up talks about the strategic plan, but also, attrition rate. These are numbers, the 84% number listed there, that's directly related to some national numbers. So there's a lot of dates set, June of 2022, for Carla to be coming back to the board with how we're doing in that regard. We have had an extremely busy hiring sequence for the last year and a half. It's probably going to continue, but we're doing very well with that aspect as well. There's some other pieces where we're struggling a little bit in terms of areas, in terms of hires. You see that in the personnel committee with, for example, housekeeping positions where we're sort of rolling regularly with positions, and also our support staff. So those are things we're aware of and we're looking to address. One of the ways that the board has positively addressed that is the Fund 73 addition for year-round support staff. I think that was an extremely positive piece that didn't have to be done, that was done in order to help, incentivize that piece. So this talks a little bit about compensation. We're getting to that. We obviously have to approach that differently with a unionized environment versus an ununionized environment. So we'll be doing that this year. So we're ready, we're budgeted, we're in a good spot with respect to budgeting, and we're moving in right now as we speak into the first stages of our 22-23 staffing plan, along with the budget as well, aligned to the budget. Questions?
Thank you. Item 13A, discussion and possible decision, approval of open enrollment resolution.
This is a standard approval that is required. So every year at this time, this is necessary in order for us to be able to handle and have open enrolled students come into the district. So there's some numbers that are listed here, open enrollment ins, open enrollment outs. Long and short of it, we've been doing much better, especially within the last year. We've closed the gap. We still have more going out than coming in, but it is much closer to even than what it ever has been in the last decade. So we're excited about that. I do recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Barnes, second by Zebro, to approve the open enrollment resolution. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13B, discussion and possible decision, acceptance of the Technology Grants Emergency Connectivity Fund.
Yeah, big kudos to Christy Health. I know she doesn't like to be called out like this, but she's sitting in the back over there. Congratulations again on an additional $106,000 to the district students. So thank you, Christy, very much. So that's on 106,329.44 for 3rd and 4th grade Chromebooks. the way that this works is the money, and correct me if I'm wrong, Christy, doesn't actually hit the district. It actually comes once we're approved, and then we go out, get the money, buy the Chromebooks. And it's my understanding from Christy that they're actually here already, a lot of them. So a lot of these third and fourth grade Chromebooks that we earn through the grant, because the dollars do not actually flow through the district, they come directly from the grant issuer for the devices. So the devices are here. Christy's staff is putting a lot of time in making sure that these devices, which are popular with the students. I know I have a student, junior, that she's very happy about her touchscreen Chromebook. So anybody who has students and they've received them, those that don't are like, when am I going to receive mine? Or they may say something else as well, but all in good fun. So I do recommend approval.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Gorman, second by Zebro. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You're in between.
Good, that was a good group.
Item 13C, discussion and possible decision approval of the post-employment HRA plan resolution for teachers and support staff.
Yep, when this was explained to me, this is 27 pages long, but when it was explained to me, and Michelle Brown is here if there's any questions, this is essentially an IRS to-do. So it's a tax thing. We love the IRS, we love our government agencies. So this is something that's required to be approved by the board. If the board will remember that the post-employment benefits for both support staff and teachers have already been approved. This has nothing to do with any change or adjustment related to that which you've already approved. It's making all good with the IRS.
That's what I was wondering.
Michelle, any,
No.
how did I do with that?
Motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Just, we don't want to read the 27 pages.
No, well, I was trying to, but.
You're such a liar.
I did it.
Whatever.
Like, Dad, what does this mean?
Okay, yep, good for you.
And she said, don't worry about it.
I read the highlights
There
because
you
I knew
go.
I needed to.
Yep, right.
All right, we have a motion by Barnes, second by Zebro. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed?
abstain.
All right,
Okay.
motion carries. Item 14, 14B is the WSB report.
All right, and I believe there's 4 of us going to the convention in Milwaukee, leaving tomorrow morning. I believe there's 3 administrators headed down.
Yep, I'll be there for the entire time.
Yeah.
Michelle will be there for a part of it. Steve will be in Wednesday.
Okay, and things are changing as we go along. There's been 2 sessions that's already been canceled, but as far as we know, it's going on. So we'll kind of, I think, wait to see once we get down there to see which sessions we go to. And in February, Kalahari Resort and Convention, there is a school law conference down there on the 24th. So if anybody's interested in that, you should have got that in the mail. And as of now, I will vote as,
You win.
yeah, as I feel necessary when I'm down there, unless otherwise told or asked or.
You know, nothing says going to a Wisconsin Dells water park like a school law symposium.
There you go, right? We gotta get through this one tomorrow, yeah, so then we'll talk about the other ones, but yeah.
I think we had talked in agenda setting that if any board member sees any resolution and they would like to shoot an email to Kelly, feel free to do that with any thoughts.
Oh dear.
Any thoughts that you might have in regards to the WASB resolutions
Solutions, correct.
that Kelly will be voting on in a couple days.
I just want to make the board aware, I did receive an email from another person asking, how, wanting me to vote one way or the other, so I just kind of informed the board of it. And
Yep,
they said it was up to me to make that decision, so I'm on it.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Item 14B, CISA 9 report. Mr. Kaiser.
There don't seem to be anything too much of it. You have it in your packet, read it. It's enjoyable reading.
One thing to note about CISA 9 is you're awesome, Mike.
Yes.
That their administrator is retiring, so they are replacing the CISA 9 administrator. So that is a search that they're currently in, and I think they're looking to fill that position within the next 2 months.
I think he brought that.
They don't last long. I mean, this one's only been there like 2 years at the most.
She's had a couple of years.
She's been there 2 years.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
She was
Yeah.
a Wassa.
yeah, we crossed paths in Wausau, but it was many, many years ago.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, item 15, future agenda items. Anybody remember the discussion at the last meeting? Because Diane and David and I didn't have the exact details about what it meant to discuss curriculum labels.
Yes.
I talked to Kelly about that because I she was part of the meeting too.
Okay.
You guys were kind of touching on that tonight.
That's pretty much what I believe Matt brought. We're having each building bring in their curriculum and what they feel are the top 3.
So the whole sequencing and the ordering of priorities?
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you remember that, Amy?
No, I'm well aware of that. I'm just like the curriculum labels term.
I don't know where she got labels from.
I was
I don't know
just
what
writing
that
it
is.
down quickly, so.
It's all good.
Yes, yeah.
So you want a future agenda item to go to C&I?
No, I think we're already doing it at
Yes, we're
CNI.
doing
Oh, got it.
I think a future agenda item, but it won't be ready like next month, or it'll be a future month, is to collate the information and the priorities from the 3 schools and have a report
Yes.
to the board as a whole of the work that we're doing with potential recommendations.
Yes.
Good.
Yep. When that's completed, correct.
Yep.
Yep.
So collate C&I work to board.
Any other topics? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into closed session. The board will move into closed executive session pursuant to section 19.85, parent 1, parent C of the state statutes for the purpose of employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of public employees. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Zebro, second by Gorman. Roll call, please.
Zebro,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Bauman,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Hermany,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Maple. Yes. Stankowski.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Figure 640?
Thank you, everybody.
School board, 640.
Sure.
Closed session, 640.